What's up, everybody? It seems like Lorcana has finally finished up all of its reveals for Set 5 Shimmering Skies coming out in August. So we are going to do a breakdown of every single color and rank all of the cards that are revealed based on how much impact I think they will have on the meta. We're going to start off with Amber and then go through all of the colors. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe for some more Lorcana content, including the breakdowns of all of the other colors. What do we need to know about Amber before we rate their cards? Well, let's go through some of Amber's characteristics. Amber is known for having the most healing of any color in the game, so a lot of the cards are based around healing. Amber's characters are also known to have very high willpower but very low strength. It's not really known for attacking things. And lastly, one of the most important characteristics of Amber for the meta is that it has a lot of singers. So it seems like they want a lot of singers in Amber just to be able to sing the better songs from other colors like Steel. Now that we know the characteristics, let's go ahead and go through each individual card and then put them into groups. The first group is going to be the trash bin. Now, the trash bin doesn't mean that it's a completely useless, terrible card. It may have some uses in a theme deck, or you may want to use it with very, very specific synergies, but as of the entire competitive meta, it's not really going to make an impact. These lower tier groups aren't going to be in order. I'm just going to go through the cards based on what order their numbers are. Coda, Talkative Cub. It has very low stats and the ability isn't that good. Goodbye. Nala, Mischievous Cub. This is a 0/4 1 cost, which is pretty good, but it has to compete with a lot of better 1 cost options in Amber, so it's not going to be used very much. Unless they make a Nala Floodborn in the future, and then this one's going to be a pretty good shift target. Kenai, Big Brother. This one shouldn't have to be explained. If Coda's not good, then the card that protects Coda is probably also not going to be good. Took, Northern Moose. It is a 4/4/4 with 1 lore. It's not that great. Lilo, Junior Cake Decorator. It is a 1/3 with support. I just don't think it's that great. There's just way more cards to play in the 2 slot. Vanellope, Sweets Mechanic. It is a 2/2/2 with the ability when you play this character, a chosen opponent, it will lose 1 strength. I think it's decent, but there's another Vanellope that is a 1 cost that I think is a better shift target. Fix It Felix Jr., Trusty Builder. It's a 3 cost 2/4 with Bodyguard. Okay shift target, but you really don't need it anywhere. Gazelle, Popstar. It is a Singer 5, which is pretty much his best characteristic. Being a Singer 5 is very good, but keep in mind there's also a Gaston, which is a 3/3/3, and that card is just better. So if you really need more than 8 Singer 5s in your deck, then you would run this. Otherwise, it's just not going to get there. Fix It Felix Jr., Niceland Steward. It is a 5 cost 4/5, and the locations get 2 willpower. I don't think that this is a very good card at all. I think that this makes all the Fix It Felix Jr.'s bad, because locations don't really need extra willpower. It's not something you need to protect, I don't think. So, no, just not good. Maid Marian. It is a 6 cost 4/5 with the ability when you play this character, a chosen character gets -5 strength. I don't think that this ability is worth 6 costs. I don't see the vision. Minnie, Compassionate Friend. It is a 4 cost 1/5 with the ability when this character quests, you can remove 2 damage from one of your characters. I don't think that healing is that good. I've tried healing before, and right now there's just not enough cards that need healing, and damage doesn't stay on the board. This is going to be a recurring theme in the Amber breakdown. Try Everything. This is a 4 cost, which is very expensive for a song unless it's doing a very, very good ability, and I don't think that this ability is very good. I think that it's okay in an Amber song deck because you have a lot of singers that you'll find later in the video, but, not being able to quest or challenge for the rest of the turn is very restrictive, and for 4 costs, you're losing a lot. Healing Touch. Not only is healing not good, but there's also already a 3 cost healing action that is also a song, but it only heals 3 damage instead of 4, which is barely ever a difference in Lorcana. So, bad card. Not gonna see play at all. Healing Decanter. There is already an item that is cost 1 and heals 1. That's Dinglehopper. This one is just double Dinglehopper, I guess. But like I said, healing isn't that common, and there's a better healing item that also costs 2 that was revealed this set, and we're going to cover that later. Rapunzel's Tower. Now, this isn't a bad location. Characters getting 3 willpower is not insignificant at all, especially if you're against Steel in the matchup. It's just that locations that don't get you lore are just they're a lot worse than locations that do get you lore. So because of that, it's very hard to justify running this over other locations. So that's it for all of the cards in the trash bin. Hopefully I didn't hurt anyone's feelings, but if you think that a card was underrated on my list, then let me know in the comments. Now we'll get into the budget bin. I'm going to call it the budget bin because these are good cards that can fit into competitive decks, but maybe a little bit too specific to go into every deck. Just like the trash bin, these cards are not in any order, they are just in the order of their set numbers. First up, we've got Rut Northern Moose. Now, unlike his brother Took, he has support, and I think that a 4-cost, 3-strength support can't be overlooked. Giving 3 strength to one of your characters whenever you quest is very good, so I think that it can see play. Next up is Vanellope, Sugar Rush Champ. This one is just a higher tier than the other Vanellope just because it's a 1-cost. It's a 1-cost 2/2. You don't really need anything else for a shift target. Next up is Minnie Mouse Drum Major. It is a 5-cost 4/4 that is a Floodborn. So if shift 4 on top of a Minnie Mouse, and if you do shift, then you get a tutor ability. And tutor is a magic term, by the way. It just means that you can search for any card and put it on top of your deck, which is a little bit helpful, but it's very restrictive that you do have to use the shift mechanic to play her. I think that's a little bit too restrictive to make her very good, but it's a good ability, so can't ignore it. Fix-It Felix Jr. Delighted Sightseer. Now, this one is a 2-cost. When you play this character, if you have a location to play, draw a card. This is the best version of Fix-It Felix. It's a shame that his Floodborn isn't that great, but if I were to pick one Fix-It Felix to actually be playable, it's this one. Wreck-It Ralph Admiral Underpants. It is a 7-cost, uninkable, 6 strength, 7 willpower, just an absolute unit of a card. When you play this character, return a character card from your discard to your hand. If that card is a princess, then you gain 2 lore. It's a very good ability. I just think that 7-cost uninkable is very, very heavy. And if you are running, princesses and queens, which has a lot of synergy in Amber, this can be a very good card. It's just 7-cost uninkable is very hard to use when there's a lot of very good cards in that range. So Wreck-It Ralph's pretty good. Sven, Reindeer Steed. It is a 4-cost 3/3. When you play this character, you may ready chosen character. They can't quest or challenge for the rest of the turn. I think that is fantastic because in a song deck, you're going to want to play Ariel turn 3, and then turn 4 you can drop Sven, which means you can sing with Ariel, and then you can sing again. It is a very good combination, and it's exactly the kind of power spike that's needed in Amber. I honestly may be underestimating this card, but it's pretty good. Invited to the Ball. Reveal the top 2 cards of your deck and put all revealed character cards into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck. This is one of those cards that can be put into a Mufasa deck, like just 1 or 2 copies, and then the rest are characters. That way you maximize the potential of this card. This is one of those weird cards that's hard to rank because it does get worse the more copies you play in your deck. This is not something you want to run 4 of, but it does have the potential to just draw 2 cards on a 2-cost thing. So I think it's pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. Next up is the Amber Chromicon. Now, the thing about the Amber Chromicon is that it's the best healing item we've ever seen. It's a 2-cost and removes 1 damage from every single one of your characters. And I think that if you are running a deck that's based around something like Grand Pabby or maybe even Rapunzel, Gifted Artist, then this is going to be a very helpful card because it gives you so much more potential with just 1 action. However, like I've said many times, healing just isn't that good yet because damage, like characters almost never hold on to damage. So this is barely not top 10, but it is the best healing item we've ever seen. The last card before we get into the top 10 is Pride Lands Jungle Oasis. While you have 3 or more characters here, you may banish this location to play a character from your discard for free. This is an amazing ability that is just very, very expensive. It costs a total of 9 ink across however many turns you want to use it, so long as the location doesn't get banished. But the location does have 1 lore, and its ability is very good, so I think that it can see play, but it's just not an amazing location. Finally, let's get into the top 10. The reason you guys are watching this video, what are the best cards in Amber? I'll start off with possibly a controversial pick, but Mirabelle Madrigal, the special enchanted that we are going to get in our set championships for set 5. A lot of people are saying that this is a bad card because the restriction is very hard to get. I think that there's enough character spam in the game to make this card worth it if you really try to make it work. And if not now, it could be good much later in the game's lifespan. When there's maybe they add characters that make tokens, maybe they add characters that bring more life from the graveyard. So there's a lot of ways that this card can be good. So I don't think that it's worth to say this card is bad when we just don't really know how to use it yet. At number 9, we have Vanellope Sugar Rush Princess. This is a Floodborn character that shifts for 2, and whenever you play another princess character, all opposing characters get -1 strength until the start of your next turn. The fact that this ability can trigger more than once is very good, so long as Vanellope's face up on the field. It can pretty much bash her head into whatever character is on the other side of the field and take almost no damage. Plus, having a 2/4 card on the field on turn 2 is just really, really strong. So I think that this card can be good. At number 8 is Moana Determined Explorer. It is a 3-cost, uninkable, 3/4 vanilla card. So there really isn't an ability, but the reason that this card is so good is because it has the hero tag and the princess tag, and it quests for 2 lore. So it has amazing stats, and it has tags that are very relevant in the meta and has a lot of synergies with other cards like Penelope or even the Anna from last set. There's a lot of cards that'll synergize with heroes and princesses, and this card is going to fit right in. At number 7 is Queen Center Core. Just like I said, we needed some synergy with princesses. At the start of your turn, if you have a princess or queen character in play, gain 1 lore. It's only a 2-cost item, so that's pretty good. It's like getting free location lore if you are running a princess or queen themed deck. And then if you tap and pay 2, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a princess or a queen, you can put it in your hand. Otherwise, you put it back on top. So it has some draw power. It's only costing 2. You gain lore. It has a lot of stuff that's going for it. And I think that princesses and queens are built out enough to make a deck around them. Number 6, we've got Kristoff Reindeer Keeper. 9 cost, 3 strength, 7 willpower. But for each card in your discard, you pay 1 less to play this character. And it has Bodyguard. So the thing about Kristoff is that Amber's already known for its song decks, for Steel Song, for whatever have you. So you are going to be singing a lot of songs in Amber, considering that there's so many other singers. So Kristoff is probably, by the time you even reach turn 5, it's going to be a 5-cost card. So that's pretty dang good for the stats you get and the fact that it quests for 3 lore. Into the top 5, Blast from Your Past. This is an action song card that is a 6-cost uninkable. You name a card and then return all character cards with that name from your discard to your hand. Very important thing about this card is that it doesn't have to be one single character. It can be, I don't know, Mickey Mouse. And then you get every single card that is anywhere related to Mickey Mouse, so long as it's a Mickey Mouse card. So you get this in the late game, you can basically replenish your entire hands and play whatever cards you want because you can get all of those cards back. Say you're running brooms or you're running things like the Queen. There's a lot of different synergies in here that will work with Blast from Your Past that I'm very excited for. At number 4 is Revive. It is a 5-cost action, uninkable. Play a character cost with 5 or less from your discard for free. The thing about playing from your discard for free, pretty good. It's a pretty good ability and it is unique. There's not a lot of cards that play out of your discard, and it seems like set 5 has a lot of cards that let you build up your discard pile. So Revive is very useful, especially if you are running a character heavy deck like Mufasa, where you really want to get those characters back in order to keep your engine running. So this is a very useful card in a lot of different decks. I think that running 1 or 2 of them is necessary if you're running Amber, depending on what kind of theme you have with your deck. Into the top 3, this should be no surprise, they're all character cards. First off is Alanadale, which is from Robin Hood, I learned recently. Alanadale doesn't have a very big body, but its ability is absolutely insane. Whenever you play a song, gain 1 lore. Amber already has a bunch of singers. It is known for Steel Songs. So the fact that we have a character card, which is basically Sleepy's Flute, but can be used multiple times a turn, is actually insane. So Alanadale is going to be very good. Even if you don't sing a song, he quests for 2. There's plenty of bodyguards that can work with this card to protect it when it's exerted. It is just very, very, very good. Unfortunately, it does die to Grab Your Swords plus Tink, which, as we know, is a very common combo in Steel. So I really wish it had 4 willpower instead of 3, but I guess that makes it a little bit balanced. At number 2 is Prince Naveen, Ukulele Player. Everyone's talking about this card, and all the rumors are true. This is a game-breaking card. It is an amazing ability. It only costs 4, But the ability is when you play this character, you may play a song with cost 6 or less for free. How insane is that? On turn 4, you can play a 6 cost song. You can play Grab Your Swords. You can play A Whole New World. You can play freaking the Blast from Your Past that I just mentioned. There's so many extremely good songs that you can sing with Prince Naveen completely for free and on earlier turns than they should be normally sang. So the fact that this card exists is insane. This is probably one of the best cards in the entire set, period. And it has Singer 6 with questing for 2 lore. So it can still stay on the board and sing songs, or it can still quest for 2. So it has amazing stats as well. 3/3 isn't that great of a attack and defense, but that's not why you play this card. It's just an insane ability. And finally, number 1 is Daisy Duck Donald's Date. Now you may be wondering, why do I put Daisy Duck above Prince Naveen? That's just because Prince Naveen, you have to be running a song deck. You have to be running Steel Song. Otherwise, you're not going to put Prince Naveen in any other type of Amber deck. However, Daisy Duck is one of those cards, sort of like Flavor Sham, where if you're running Amber, you're pretty much always going to run Daisy Duck. There's no reason not to. It is a 1 cost, 1/4 that quests for 2. And yes, the ability is kind of a bad side. You are feeding your opponent some more characters to draw as you continue questing, but you're getting such a huge lore advantage at that point that you don't really care. This is one of those cards where if you draw 2 of them in your opening hand, you're going to be getting 2, 4, 6, 8 lore on like turn 3 or 4 maybe, and that's just crazy. It is a crazy stat line for something that quests for 2 and only cost 1. So Daisy Duck is going to see play in almost every single Amber deck, I think, including Steel Song. I think that you can run Daisy Duck in Steel Song and just get a couple bits of lore while you wait until you can play Ariel and Prince Naveen and stuff. So Daisy Duck is a staple card. It is an amazing Amber card. It's going to see a lot of play. So let's go. Let's go Daisy Duck. Congratulations on making number 1. And there you have it. That is every single Amber card in Shimmering Skies ranked from worst to best. Let me know what you think of the list and what you're excited most for in set 5. Thank you for watching and have a good day.